Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Wytpod. My name is Harshit, and I'm the Director of Business Alliances at White Labs. We're a digital agency specializing in SaaS and e-commerce SEO. I've got James with me today. He's a co-founder and CEO at Fyorin, a brilliant payment and financial operations platform for global businesses. So, big welcome to you, James. So happy to have you with me.
Thank you. Thanks for the invite.
Brilliant. Now, James, would love to start with your journey. You've had pretty brilliant exposure to fintech specifically. Let's talk about that. Would love to hear.
Yes. So my journey in fintech started around about 10 years ago. I used to work for a fintech company in the UK. And essentially, I also moved out. I did a bit outside of the fintech. So I also worked a bit in the e-commerce space. But I was always close to the fintech world. I think what actually really draws me to this space is that the ability or having to solve a problem in terms of how money moves, right? And fintech is essentially right in the middle of that. Because whatever you're doing as a business, whether you're in e-commerce, whether in retail, you always need to get paid and to get paid and also pay. So having the ability or being that the solution to facilitate that is something that always had fascinated me.
Brilliant, buddy. Now, Fyorin is known for its comprehensive financial operations, right? I would love to understand. Can you please elaborate on how it simplifies your cross-border payments and financial operations for global businesses? Yeah.
Yes. So essentially, if you look at any international business, typically, in order for you to operate internationally, you have to interact with different financial institutions, a secondary bank, an FX provider, maybe a lender, also a card expense management platform. Now, what's the challenge with that? The challenge is that you have treasury being fragmented across different financial institutions, which means that it slows you down when it comes into reconciliation and when it comes into also automation. So we solved that pain point. We developed a payments and a financial operations platform where we help international businesses to automate their movement of money and also diversify their treasury across a global network of financial institutions. And I give you an example of this. So let's say a company based out of the UK, we onboard them, we provide them with a localized account in the UK. They can connect their existing accounts also, let's say with Barclays or any other account. But then let's say this business wants to go and expand into, let's say, the US. Instead of actually go and find the right banking partner in the US, with one click of a button, we provide them with localized bank accounts. We provide them with localized cards. And the beauty of that is that everything is connected to our accounting platform. So we connect with Xero, QuickBooks, NetSuite, Dynamics, SAP, and you can automate payables and also receivables.
Gotcha.
So then you have one platform where you can automate your payables, automate your receivables, your card and expense management, and also you can automate your treasury management. So now you can operate globally as if you operate locally from one single platform.
In fact, James, one of the things that in fact I've also personally experienced is that whenever you're using any such platform, there's a huge percentage of commission that the platform takes per transaction as well. Is it something that you're also trying to like just project your platform as a its core USP? What's the situation with you guys?
Yeah, so essentially with our platform, it's all about automation, it's all about efficiency. So essentially, it's all about how we can help you to transact globally and to keep costs down as much as possible. And this is reflected in the pricing structure. So we have a tiered SaaS pricing, right? Where the more payments you do, the less essentially you pay. But it's not just about the pricing, but it's also about the efficiency that we bring. So when you connect, for example, directly with the accounting platform, so that from the accounting platform, you can select the bills that needs to be paid. We pick them up and we distribute the payments. So there's no need to upload any files. There's no need to go to the bank and actually key in the payments. We've seen that we've said customers up to 85% of the accounts payable process. So that is time when that your team can actually use to more strategic, doing more strategic stuff.
Yeah, gotcha. Let's talk about some specific challenges, anything that you encounter when developing your platform, and how did you address them, at least on the initial stage?
Yes, like any other business, there are a number of challenges, right? I think there are different challenges at different stages of the company. In the early stages, it's all about also finding your product market fit, right?
Mhm.
So I think one of the things that we did at an early stage, which we did very well, is that we spoke to a lot of businesses, right? A lot of, for example, finance people, which is the persona that we actually sell to, where we're trying to understand what are they doing today, right? What are they doing today around payables? What are they doing today around receivables, around treasury management? And how
Yeah,
our solution can actually solve that, right? Or if we have to build a solution, how we're actually going to solve their pain points. And that is something that we've done at an early stage, and something that I think today it's reaping also a lot of benefits.
gotcha. And James, help me understand your target ICP. Which specific industries are you targeting currently? Like primarily targeting. I'm sure there must be like a really broad use case altogether for you. But from a
Yes.
market standpoint and your sales standpoint, what are those specific industries? What are those specific groups of people that you're primarily focusing on,
Yeah.
right?
Yes. So in terms of the ICP, we target companies that have two or more different currencies, they're operating in different jurisdictions, and practically companies that are doing 10 million to 50 million of turnover per year. Those type of companies that we actually target, we can onboard companies in over 92 different jurisdictions. So there isn't much limitation in terms of jurisdiction. And primarily we work in the e-commerce space, in the affiliate space, also shipping, private aviation. So all those businesses that are operating internationally.
Okay. Okay. Now, with your experience in both fintech and e-commerce, what do you see as the biggest trend in international financial operations and payments right now?
I think the biggest trend is the AI, right? So there's the buzzword of AI. I think it's very interesting, but we have still to understand essentially how it will help us to scale also when you're doing business cross border. So that's something but I think it definitely help out when it comes into, for example, doing transaction monitoring way much better, right? Which means that customers can transact globally way much faster.
Yeah. In fact, blockchain is pretty big in your industry, right?
Correct, yes. Specifically around, for example, in Europe, there's the regulation that around Mika, for example, where we're seeing that also like something like stable coins is actually also picking up a lot. We as a company, we don't do anything with blockchain, but I think this is something that, yes, something that is very much the fintech space is moving also. I would say it's something that's probably in the future that will be coming.
Gotcha. And what are some key considerations for businesses looking to expand internationally in terms of financial operations? So, what would your advice be?
Yes, I think the key considerations will be that there is a lot of manual work being involved, right? So when you're actually looking into expanding the new market, it's not just about finding the right banking partner, but it's also about what comes around that, what around the manual work around payables, the manual work around receivables, right? So reconciliations, the manual work around compliance, which typically it's a hidden cost, right? So if you are interacting with different financial institutions, you have to deal with different banks that have different compliance requirements. So typically what we've seen is that companies that are going internationally, they end up hiring or getting in more people to do all this manual work,
Yeah.
right? And what it ends up happening is that your operational costs will increase, right? So this is one of the considerations I would say that companies that are going internationally should look for, that how they can actually go and penetrate international markets while keeping their operational costs low as much as possible.
Now, your company has pretty rapidly scaled across various regions, right? So, what strategies, when it comes to marketing mainly, have been most effective in achieving this global growth altogether?
Yes, it's a very good question. So we managed to grow a lot through organically. So customers referring us, other customers, also word of mouth. But essentially, we also managed to grow a lot through our reseller network that we have. Of course, we also do SEO primarily, where essentially from our side, we as much as possible try to position ourselves as the leaders in the areas that we are actually operating in.
Yeah. And how often do you participate in these thought leadership and events? Is it something which is under your radar and part of your co-marketing strategy as well?
Yes, something that the more we actually grow, the more it is becoming more on our radar. So this is something that we always look for, these type of events, some event that will get us in front of the right audience. So this is something that's very much on our radar, I would say.
Yeah, and I think you've got a pretty, like, at least early background was into business development, sales, and all. And plus, like, you're a good speaker. So I think those things are something gonna definitely help you propel and move forward better, I would. So, yeah. All right. Now, I would love to discuss, are there any specific market gaps or opportunities that Fyorin has successfully capitalized on?
Yes, I think I would say that's market opportunities, but I think we capitalize a lot on markets where they're very much fragmented. For example, if you look at South of Europe, for example, the market is very much fragmented, right? And companies are finding it harder every day in order to operate internationally in those markets. And with a platform like ours, where we have a global network of financial institutions, where you as a business, you can interact with different financial institutions as if you're interacting with one,
Hmm.
that is something that helps a lot of businesses because they can move faster now. They can actually grow way much faster. And essentially, we want our solution to be an enabler for growth, right? That is something that, so going back to your question, we see opportunities where the market is very much fragmented in areas where getting paid or get paid is super hard. I think this is the opportunities where you are essentially going after.
Now, please help me understand your approach to business development and partnership as well, in order to just enhance your service offering, expand your global network.
Yes, from our side, we always try to partner up with partners that are closer to our customers, right?
Gotcha.
So we have our ideal customer profile, but typically we partner a lot with, for example, resellers or accounting firms, right? Again, accounting firms, they are close to the businesses that we're actually after. And those
Yeah.
typically not just make a good advocate for us, but also a good channel to provide us or get us business.
Gotcha. Now, as a proven track record in scaling companies, what is your approach to building and managing high performing teams?
Yes, I think it's one building and performing high performing teams. I think it's one important thing is that defining the clear objectives of what we want to do as a company. I think that is very important. But secondly, is also bringing in the right people on board
Hmm.
because this is having a company is essentially it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. So you're always going to you're gonna always gonna have the ups and downs. So bringing in the right company and having clear objectives of where you want to go, I think this is going to be very important because then people can essentially use their unique skills to actually get the company from point A to point B.
Gotcha. All right. Now, how do you foster a culture of innovation and resilience within Fiorin, and especially because it's a rapidly evolving industry, right? You're in tech space altogether.
Yes. So first and foremost, I think when it comes into innovation, we always listen to what the market is telling us, right? To what our customers are telling us, what our prospects are telling us, but also to our internal teams. So for example, if we launch a particular product, we go back to the team and say, okay, this is the feedback that we're getting,
Yeah.
right? In some cases, we can suggest how we can improve it and so forth. So I think one of the things that we do is I think that to do very well is to listen always for improvements, whether this is coming in from internal teams, whether it's coming in from the out teams, etc.
Gotcha. Right. Now, what are some of the key leadership lessons that you have learned from your diverse experience across multiple industry and multiple job roles?
Yes, I think this ties up to what I was saying earlier. I think two things. So first and foremost, having clear communication, right? I think this is something very important. because you can have great ideas, but you need to know how to communicate these ideas. But secondly, it's also about listening. You also need to be paranoid about and understanding the environment around you, right? So listening to what your customers are saying, listening to what your people are saying, so that you can actually move ahead. In some cases, I see a lot of companies that are trying to push a product that the customer doesn't want to. I think those two things, so listening and communicating clearly.
Gotcha. And talking about your business goals and also like your marketing goals. So 12 months down the line, where exactly do you want to see Fyorin? At what, any benchmark that you have set?
Yeah, we definitely have a lot of goals. I think what we've done so far is we scale to a number of jurisdictions. So I think in the next 12 months, we want to continue to actually accelerate that growth, right? We want to tap into new different markets, also verticals that today we are not tapping into. So from our side, we want, of course, to double down on what we continue to double down on what we are doing and accelerate our growth to new markets, which will, of course, it will help us to accelerate more our revenue.
Gotcha. And James, any specific strategies that you have around your customer retention side of things, and how's the churn in your company right now?
Yeah, so we have a very low churn in our portfolio. And I think it's because going back to what I was saying earlier, it's about understanding your customers, understanding their pain points, and providing a solution that essentially really fits what they're after. So I think this is something which is important and something that even not just with Fyorin, but even the other companies that I work with, understanding your customer needs is always very important. In order for you to achieve success that you would need.
Gotcha. And are there any upcoming features or project at Fyorin that you're particularly excited about and can share this with us?
There are a couple. We'd like to keep it under wraps, but I would say we are launching a number of products that will enable businesses to move faster, right? So for us, it's all about efficiency, it's all about automation, but we have products in the pipeline that will help business to move faster.
Correct. And what's your take?
What's our space on LinkedIn?
And what do you think, like in the next 5 to 10 years, when it comes to specifically within the fintech space, that landscape, anything that you feel is going to change majorly? Any thoughts on that?
Yes, I think if you look in the fintech, in the early days, there was a lot of push on the business to consumer, B2C. And I think there's more, now it's mature as a space. But I think the B2B side of things there's still a lot of opportunities. It's still not yet mature as the B2C. And I think in the next 5 to 10 years, we're going to see more and more improvements coming in on the B2B side of things, where it's all about how can a business operate internationally in a very smooth way. So I think I'll foresee that in the next 5 to 10 years, there's going to be more tools in fintech around the B2B side of things.
Gotcha. All right, James. So we're coming to an end now. I would love to have a quick rapid fire with you. Are you ready for that?
Sure, shoot.
What habit holds you back the most?
What habit? Yeah, I'm addicted to chocolate, I think. So, yeah.
What subject do you find to be most fascinating apart from fintech? Don't say fintech.
Very difficult. I still find fintech very fascinating. I think I learn every day. Yeah, I would go with fintech.
All right. What career did you dream of having as a kid?
My dream as a kid was to actually become a commercial pilot.
Okay, interesting. All right. Now, if you could use only one social media for the rest of your life, for your personal use, of course, all right, which would it be?
I think I would use LinkedIn.
Okay.
Because I think first and foremost, a lot of users are actually on LinkedIn. I think LinkedIn is becoming more of there are a lot of communities being built up from LinkedIn. And I think the world is becoming a very small place and communities are becoming more and more important.
Yeah, makes sense. All right, now coming to a very last question. What's your last Google search?
Was the last Google search? Interesting. I think the last Google search was about looking at Fyorin statistics. That is what my last Google search was.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, James. I really enjoyed this conversation. Thank you for taking time out for this and sharing your wonderful experiences about your company. And I wish you all the very best and hope you grow.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you so much, buddy.
Thanks. Bye.
Where's the pause?